Wow, what a cliffhanger of a game. Nigeria survived a last-minute onslaught by Lesotho to avoid another draw, running out 2-1 winners at the end of its penultimate World Cup qualifier. This result renews hope that Nigeria could actually pull off a World Cup qualification, especially with news that Zimbabwe was able to hold South Africa to a goalless draw. Was Chelle spot on with his selection and strategy in the match, or could he have done more? Let's get into it. As we get into the video, we implore you to subscribe to our channel. We urge you to keep supporting our channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing our videos as we strive to create a lot more exciting content for your viewing pleasure. Chelle fielded the Super Eagles in a 4-4-2 formation in its match played against Lesotho in South Africa, which was to be expected because Nigeria needed to score goals. Coming off with a high scoreline was necessary in order to give Nigeria the best chance possible to qualify if it had to come down to goal difference to edge Benin, who they play on the final day of qualifiers. In Chelle's 4-4-2 formation, he put up Victor Osimhen and Tolu Arokodare as the striking pair up front. This combination did not work as both strikers have similar qualities and were running into each other's lanes most of the time. Also, Arokodare was having a bad day directing the aerial balls coming at him, missing at least 2 good chances to score with his head. It was hence an average performance on the day for him, and the introduction of Akor Adams changed the tide of the game as the attack pairing was more effective. Akor Adams' goal beating 2 Lesotho defenders with a deft feint and change of direction to beat 2 defenders and deliver a low shot to beat the keeper to the extreme right end of the post. Akor Adams showed what it is to play with grit, passion, and purpose, taking your chance when it comes, and now stands a good chance of starting in the final qualifying match on Tuesday. Another big performer on the day was Benjamin Fredericks, who was a rock at the right-back position for Nigeria. His performance even made it seem like the injuries to Nigeria's traditional right-backs were a blessing in disguise, as he didn't do much overlapping. This suggests that the constant overlapping by Bright Osai Samuel and Ola Aina may be a contributing factor to Nigeria's susceptibility on the right in the past few matches. At the end of the day, despite the few defensive blunders and a non-discernible game plan during long stretches of the match, the only real problem is the midfield, which continues to lack presence and seem flat. As Nigeria now needs to score goals in Uyo, Nigeria may need to stick with the 4-4-2 rather than revert to the 3-4-3 or 4-4-3, which would have been more ideal for playing Benin, who are a relatively more dangerous team. For the 2-man midfield to work, Iwobi will need to move to the left side of attack like he plays at Fulham, where he is arguably more effective, while Chrysanthus Uche plays in attacking midfield instead. Moses Simon would play on the right side of attack, where he has played severally for Nigeria, especially under Gernot Rohr, as he is quite good at tracking back to help out defensively. This move seems even easier to make with Ademola Lookman not being available for the match against Benin due to 2 accumulated yellow cards. Chrysanthus Uche is too good to be on the bench, and his continued absence is both mind-boggling and understandable at the same time. Understandably, it's normal for a coach to stick with what he is familiar with, but Chelle ought to see that the Iwobi and Ndidi combination was not very effective against Lesotho and lacked presence. Recognizing the importance of the final set of matches, he ought to have tried out new player options and match strategies in more friendly matches. However, we know he can only work with the resources provided to him by the NFF. On the administrative front, also startling is why Nigeria's players arrived in camp 3 days before the match against Lesotho, while teams in less precarious situations like Ghana, for example, were in camp since Saturday last week. If Nigeria ends up qualifying for the World Cup, it will be besides the administration of the NFF, as their planning and organization of Nigeria's World Cup campaign has been abysmal. To round up this video, let's summarize the options available for Nigeria to qualify. In the first option, Nigeria can top the group and outright qualify if they beat Benin by at least 2 goals, while South Africa fails to beat Rwanda. It has been reported that it has to be by 3 goals, especially by CAF, but 2 goals might be sufficient, as Nigeria and Benin will be both on 17 points, but Nigeria will then have a higher goal difference. They will also finish second and stand a chance of finishing as one of the 4 best second-place teams to qualify for the playoffs if South Africa beats Rwanda. In the second option, if Nigeria wins by a 1-goal margin, it goes into a complicated scenario where Nigeria and Benin will both be on a goal difference of +4. The winner will be decided based on the criteria set by FIFA and shown on the screen. It is most likely that Nigeria might go through, as Nigeria has 13 yellow cards as against 14 for Benin, with both not having a red card. Except this changes in their match on Tuesday. In the worst-case scenario, there will be a random draw to decide the group finishing position between Nigeria and Benin. If South Africa fails to beat Rwanda in that second scenario, the same will apply, as the tiebreaker will decide who tops the group, and if they beat Rwanda, the tiebreaker will decide which team finishes in second place. The third option will be if Nigeria plays out a draw with Benin. In this scenario, Nigeria can only qualify if South Africa loses by any margin to Rwanda, in which case Nigeria will finish second in the group, as Nigeria will edge South Africa out by a superior goal difference. The fourth and final option will be if Nigeria loses to Benin. Then it will be the end of the road for Nigeria, as regardless of the outcome of the other matches, the best position Nigeria can finish in is third place, which is a scenario no one wants to see. We wish the Super Eagles all the best in its final World Cup qualifiers on Tuesday. Thanks for watching. As usual, if you like our content, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, please leave a comment letting us know whether you agree with our suggestions to Chelle in Nigeria's last qualifying match against Benin. See you in the next video.